Good evening, folks, and a very warm welcome to you wherever you may be. Thank you for joining us here on DinamoTV, the official podcast of the St Albans Dinamo Football Club. My name's Tonchi Prusats, and I'm going to be with you for the next hour or so. And as we get closer and closer and closer to the Australian Croatian Soccer Tournament in a few weeks' time, to be hosted by our fantastic club. Well, tonight we're going to be spending quite a fair bit of time talking about the tournament. Of course, some of our guests tonight include, we'll be talking to Future Tech Director Anthony Muslich, who's well known at the club. He's one of our platinum sponsors. He'll be talking to us about his business, but also he's got a really, really interesting footballing story as well. Those of you that know Anthony know he spent some time in Croatia, where unfortunately a career-ending injury stopped him from playing any further. But he's got some wise words of wisdom for any young footballer looking to make it as a professional footballer. Stay tuned for that. We'll also be going right to the very, very top. We'll be talking to the president, ILIJA DRAGICEVIC, and the vice president, John BILOS. I caught up with them earlier today at Churchill Reserve, and John also took us on a little bit of a tourist guide trip around Churchill Reserve to see all the latest infrastructure improvements. So we'll catch up with those two gentlemen a little bit later on in the show as well. Also, we've got a very, very special guest in our news desk who will be speaking to a young man who is, he's the leader of a group of very, very talented Dinamo boys. And they achieved something rather big last night. So, folks, stay tuned for that and a lot more as well on DinamoTV. Can't believe it's already episode 35 this year. Be active in the chats. Some of the best comments we'll read out during the course of the evening. And stay tuned for the news desk after this word from our major sponsor, the I&D Group.
The I&D Group is regarded as one of the largest deliverers of concrete structure solutions in Victoria. Formed in 1994 by Ivan and Kathy Filipovic, their passion and commitment to getting the job done safely and economically has underpinned their success in the industry. I&D partners with large-scale building and construction companies in both the private and public sectors on projects large and small. With our corporate headquarters based in South Melbourne and storage yard based in the southeast suburbs, we have at our disposal thousands of square metres of quality materials, along with state-of-the-art lifting and crane equipment, enabling us to deliver the largest projects. We are committed to delivering high-quality projects by partnering with our clients and collaborating with project suppliers to ensure each job is delivered to exceed expectations. From humble beginnings, I&D now employs more than 1,200 dedicated professional and support staff, involved in a number of landmark projects right across Victoria. The I&D Group is a massive supporter of the Croatian community, backed soccer clubs in Victoria, and is proud to be the major sponsor of the St Albans Dinamo Football Club in 2024.
Yes, welcome back to DinamoTV, and it is time for the news desk. And the only bit of football happening now, apart from the juniors who finished their senior season last week, is the boys JB NPL teams. They've got 2 rounds to go, and on the weekend they played their third last round, round 20. So we'll have a look at the scores in round 20. The under-14s drew with Ballarat City 0-0. The under-15s, they drew away to Eltham Redbacks, Salva Kumaran and Mikulic scoring the goals for the 15s. The under-16s, unfortunately, went down to Ballarat City 3-4. Luka Mišković scoring 2 goals and Eric Magro 1. But the under-18s, they defeated Brimbank 3-0. Nicholas Masiti scoring a goal, Jackson Knežević and Lenson Chen. Now, there are the fixtures for this weekend, but before we go further than that, let's have a look at the under-18s, because they had a game last night. Yes, an 8-2 win over Altona Magic. Nicholas Masidi scoring 3 goals, Yanni Apostolikas, 2 goals. Joshua Angelis, 2. Andrei Mihocic, 1. That game was played on the main pitch there at Churchill Reserve last night. And as a result of last night's victory, the under-18 boys were crowned the league champions of Division 3. Congratulations to the under-18 boys JBNPL team. And we've got a very, very special guest on the line joining us here on DinamoTV. On the line on DinamoTV, we've got the captain of the victorious, the triumphant Junior Boys NPL Under-18s team, Jonathan Galvin. Jonathan, congratulations, first of all, and welcome to DinamoTV. How are you?
I'm good, thanks. How are you?
Yeah, very, very good, mate. Very good. Definitely not as good as you and the boys there after last night's result. What was the mood like after the thumping 8-2 win over Altona Magic last night?
Oh, well, we were so happy. We were celebrating, listening to music in the change rooms. It was, such a good experience. So good to be there. We were just so happy.
The party had really started, yeah. Now, first of all, what was it like playing under lights and on the main pitch? That must have been a thrill in itself.
It was, especially, it was wet. It just rained. It was perfect conditions. Couldn't ask for anything better. And yeah, well, we used it to our advantage with the 8-2 win.
Yeah, no, well, great result. And look, overall, it's been a fantastic season. But from a player's point of view, how did you find the season? First of all, the grading, the 11-game grading phase, and then the 22-game home and away season.
Well, grading, we hope to do a lot better than how we did. Like, we're aiming for Division 1 at the start. Even Division 2 would have been happy with. But yeah, we're really unfortunate to qualify for Division 3. But yeah, we're still fine. We set our goal to winning Division 3, and yeah, it was just good to see that we reached our goal and that we won it with a few games to spare.
Yeah, it's a tough kind of an age group because I guess you see a lot of boys move up to the under-23s, or then there's VCE commitments and things like that. So it really makes it hard, which makes the commitment even more amazing. So how did you guys find, what were some of the other obstacles that you guys came across? Were the injuries, were the unavailabilities? What were some of the things that really made things tough for you in 2024?
Yeah, well, injuries kept up on us badly. We started off the season, I think we had 6 centre backs. By the end of it, we only had 1 fit to play. Like, we had a lot of injuries, a few holidays, stuff like that. But yeah, in some weeks we only had 11 players. So we had to call up the younger boys, which they came in, they did amazing. And yeah, well, we just stayed resilient, played our game, and got the result in the end.
Yeah, no, that's awesome. Now, look, there's all sorts of talk about restructuring for next year. No one really knows exactly what's going on, but one of the models is suggesting there could be an under-19 model. So the current under-18s move to under-19s, bridging that gap with the 23s. That would probably mean a lot of the boys will hang around and stay together, and who knows, maybe a couple of recruits and this and that. For next year, what would be the aims to at least get into that Division 2 or maybe even higher?
Yeah, well, we look to play Division 2, and well, with the team we have now, and hopefully with new players coming in, I feel like we can push to win it and do well in it. Yeah.
And what about yourself, mate? What position do you play, and how were you, like, if you look back at the season that was for you personally, how would you assess it?
I play as a defensive midfielder usually. But yeah, obviously, like I said, with all the injuries, I had to play centre back a few times. I played everywhere in the midfield. But yeah, well, yeah, so I had to move everywhere, but I feel like it was just a
Yeah.
challenge and I've done well to adapt to
Oh,
it.
brilliant. Well done. Good on you. And finally, the coaches. Mickey Pete, head coach, Chris Dibb, a senior player who was the assistant coach. How did you find the coaching staff, and how important were they to the success of your team this year?
They were brilliant. They were always trying to push us, help us improve, always out training, pushing us as hard as we can. Even at the games, it's like always just pushing us to be the best we can. And yeah, like you can see, we got the final reward, which we wanted, and yeah, so they've done really well. They were key to our success.
Awesome. Well, weekend off this weekend because the game was played last night. I guess there's one more game to go, and that's it for the season. Then pre-season pretty much starts straight after that, doesn't it?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Well, once again,
excited for the final game. Then,
Congratulations, Jonathan, to you and the boys, and wishing you all the best, for next season and beyond that. But once again, congratulations and well done.
Thank you. Appreciate it.
And there we go. There we've got the fixtures for this week. So the penultimate round in the junior boys NPL Division 3 Northwest competition. The under-14s are at home to Hume City. They'll be taking on Hume City at 11:45. The under-15s travel to Ballarat City, where their game kicks off at 11:30. The under-16s, they travel to Churchill Reserve, where they'll meet Pascoe Vale, and that game kicks off at 1:15 p.m. And as we saw, the under-18s, well, they played their game last night and defeated Altona Magic 8-2. Let's have a look at the ladders now. So no change in the 14s or the 15s. The 14s remain in third position. The 15 boys, they remain in fourth position across the page. The under-16s, they've dropped from third to fourth, just behind Ballarat City. And St Albans Dinamo, as we can see, they are in top position, and they will stay in top position in the under-18s Division 3 competition. Well done to them once again. Okay, this weekend, the Victorian Crow Cup will be played. The Junior Crow Cup will be played down at North Geelong Warriors at Alco Park, annual event that attracts Mini Roos boys and junior boys and girls from under-7s all the way up to under-13s, kicking off at 9 o'clock and go all the way through to about 5 p.m. Dinamo will be there, as will Strathmore Split, Dandenong City, the Melbourne Knights, and of course the hosting North Geelong Warriors. If you want a little bit more information, a bit of an insight into what awaits this Saturday, jump over to the Oz Crow Soccer Show Facebook page and the YouTube channel, and you'll be able to see an interview with Dennis Vodopic from North Geelong Warriors. He's part of the organising committee of this year's Junior Crow Cup, which incidentally last year was successfully hosted by us. Okay, we're nearly done with the news desk, but during the week, the Tawny merchandise went on sale, and from all indications, it has been absolutely fantastic and frenetic. They tell me that the Dinamo website shut down, how much international and local interest there was, but get in now to have your merchandise waiting for you as soon as the tourney starts. So pick up only a Dinamo from opening night. Adults and kids sizes are available. To order, go to the following website, cst2024.com.au/shop/. And there's just a selection of some of the tournament merchandise that you'll be able to get. And we'll leave that slide up a little bit more. But certainly it's worth going over to the website, the tournament website, the cst2024.com.au/shop/. And you don't want to miss out, that's for sure. All right, folks, we're going to take a short break. When we return, we'll be speaking with our first guest, or our next guest, I should say. He is the director of Future Tech Civil, and he's also one of the tournament's platinum sponsors, Anthony Maslich. And interestingly enough, here's an advert for Future Tech. Welcome back to DinamoTV. It's my we're on the road again. This time we're once again getting to know our platinum sponsors for the upcoming Australian Croatian Soccer Tournament. And today I'm in the company of, and it's my pleasure to be in the company of the Director of Future Tech Civil, Anthony Muslich. Anthony, how are you, mate, first of all?
Doing well, Tonchi. How are you, mate?
I'm well. I'm really well. I get out of the office, and so to speak, and get the chance to catch up with people. It's always good. But,
awesome.
you know, I know it's a cliche, but we did have you early on the show. I think it was this year when it was a sponsors day. But, gosh, the year's flown, hasn't it?
It has. Just before you know it, time flies. And, you know, before you know it, we're nearly towards the later part of the year as well. So,
yeah.
What do you do, mate?
Whether it's in the world of business, whether it's in the world of football, or whether it's in the world of planning for example, the Australian Croatian Soccer Tournament, the year's just gone by very, very quickly. But before we talk about all that, mate, let's talk about your business, Future Tech Civil. All right.
Sure.
What does it do in a nutshell? Give us a bit of a summary.
Yeah, sure. Future Tech Civil predominantly specialises in underground infrastructure, which is our core business. So we deal with major utilities all over Victoria. We look after everything from gas, water, power, NBN, from an end-to-end perspective. So everything from planning to facilitating the actual work itself, and then obviously commissioning and finalising the project. That's predominantly what Future Tech does. We do also have another strand of the business which does a lot of government work, local council work, where we specialise in basically maintenance work for local government. So that involves everything from, you know, footpath remediation works to line marking, guardrail, drainage works, which we cover across different municipalities across Victoria. So they're the two primary kind of work
components, I suppose, elements.
Effectively that we specialise in. And then the other component is Future Tech Communications, which is another offset of our main business, which predominantly does data and communications, along with some electrical work as well, which specialises in just that kind of component. So we're a pretty broad business in the sense that, you know, we take care of different elements, and also, you know, just from government to, you know, private clients. Our clientele kind of varies, you know, from A to B. So it's a very broad range.
And you have to look after all of that, and in addition to that, you've got a lot of staff as well. How many people working for you?
We've got about 50 here at Future Tech. So we've got about 10 in senior management, including project managers, admin staff, accounting, and then we've got obviously all the guys that are on site facilitating the work, it's a lot to manage.
A lot of stress.
It's a lot of stress, definitely. That's why we've got the bar right here, so which helps. But look, I wouldn't want it any other way. I'm very passionate about what we do here, and you know, and we're looking to kind of grow and scale the business moving forward, and potentially kind of, you know, grow it in the eastern seaboard, in particular in Sydney and in Queensland. We're looking to expand. So we've got some really massive future goals for the business. And that's going to provide obviously extra headaches, as you mentioned, Taunch. So,
what I want to know is how come you've got no grey hairs? That's the secret.
I think
my hair would have fallen out a long time ago, but
they're on the way. They're on the way. I've started to get some grey hairs on the beard, mate. So they're definitely on the way. But you know, we're definitely looking forward to it. And,
now that's the future. You've got an interesting past as well, and how you started the business 14, 15 years ago. In a nutshell, we were talking off air and you were saying how you kind of just fell into it. Sure. But tell us a little bit about how Future Tech first came about.
Yeah. So,
great story.
As you know, obviously I played soccer, you know, back in the day. I started my career at Melbourne Knights, and then I transitioned into Dinamo. Then I had an opportunity to go overseas, and I spent a couple of years overseas, which was great. But unfortunately, I had a bit of a significant injury, which kind of sidetracked my future career and kind of, you know, going along with the soccer career. So what happened was when I came back to Melbourne, I was in a bit of a limbo, obviously.
So did you have that injury overseas?
I did, yeah.
So you were in Croatia playing at Šibenik at one stage, and you were also training or playing with Hajduk, was it?
So I went to trial with Hajduk Split.
Yeah.
And then Hajduk Split were quite impressed, but like most players, you know, they kind of offload you to one of their sister clubs.
Yeah.
Just to kind of get acclimatized to the environment and whatnot. So that's where I kind of spent time going to Šibenik. But as you know, it's very hard on a player kind of transitioning from Australia to overseas, even though I kind of can speak the language and obviously my Croatian background.
Yeah. What was the hardest thing? Was it the culture shock? Was it the mentality? I mean, obviously they're a little bit different to the way we are.
Yeah.
What was it? Or was it just the ruthless nature of football over in Europe?
It's just the ruthless nature of football. It's just very cutthroat. I think you grow up very quickly in that environment. I was only 18, 19 at the time. So, transitioning from, living here in Melbourne with my folks and, having a kind of, that kind of easy lifestyle where you're training, coming home to all of a sudden now you have to really rely on yourself and be self-sufficient in everything you do. So you really mature quickly as an individual.
How old were you?
I was about 18, 19.
Wow.
19, when I went over there. So, spent a few years there, which was an amazing time. I loved every second of it. So, but unfortunately, with any sport, there's injuries that play a part. I had a really bad injury, which kind of sidetracked my future goals.
Yeah.
So
career ending, was it, or was it?
Well, yeah, it was. It kind of was. It was my ankle, all the ligaments. It was just a disaster. So, at the time they wanted to have surgery overseas, and my folks were very umming and ahhing with them to come back here and seek further medical treatment and whatnot. So it was quite a challenge at that time, and we made the call to kind of come back here to get the treatment. As most people know, it's probably something that most people probably would do, is come back home and where they've got their family, they've got the support structures around them where they can feel comfortable in getting the necessary treatment, right? So we came back here. I came back here, and then pretty much from there, I was in a bit of a limbo. I went through a phase where, I only knew soccer and nothing else.
Yep.
I've played my whole life. That was my whole existence. To be fair, so I didn't think of ever doing anything else. Other than playing soccer.
Yeah.
So I went through a period of really kind of being down for quite a while, playing soccer overseas, having an injury, and now you're coming back to Melbourne and you're like, what do I do now? Where do I transition? So I made the call, which only made sense for me, is to get into the fitness industry. Being passionate about playing sport. I went, look, I love fitness. I love training. I love people. I love, how can I kind of integrate in that industry? And then we kind of set up a PT business, in the early days, and that went for a good couple of years, PTing. But as you know as well, it's a very up and down yo-yo
fickle industry. It is, yeah.
It is, it's always it's a sort of a luxury service, and it's the first thing that most people can.
And back then, that was what? So early 2000s?
Yeah, that was probably 2007 onwards.
Yeah. So the PT industry was still kind of in its almost like its infancy. It was very hard back then to kind of expect people to say pay $50-$60 a session. It was unheard of almost. So even trying to break into that and make it work, I mean, I know from personal experience around about that era, it was quite a difficult industry.
Absolutely. And there's so many challenges, trying to stay on top of new clients and clients dropping off, new clients coming, and you've also got competition with other trainers, which everyone's trying to hustle for the work. Yeah. So it's a really dog-eat-dog environment, and
a bit like the football environment.
Absolutely, yeah, absolutely. So after that, I kind of transitioned into something a bit more stable income, where I was a general manager of quite a few different gyms and facilities, in particular leisure centres and whatnot, which kind of gave me that stable income for moving forward, which I thought, stepping away from the PT space into having a solid wage and a salary. But obviously, I've always kind of been passionate. I always wanted to work for myself. That's something I've always been passionate about as an individual. I never could see myself really working for anyone else. And then, I kind of fell into a space where I was looking at what else can I do other than fitness, and we had an opportunity. We had a family friend at the time. He was working for Telstra, as I mentioned to you before. He was making really, really good money back in those days, and he was a one-man band. He had a van, and he'd go out and do, Telstra installs, HFC and whatnot. So at that time, I pretty much approached him and said, look, mate, do you mind if I come work with you, give you a hand? And obviously being a really small one-man show, he he didn't have the financial backing to be able to hire someone else. So I said to him, look, I'm really happy to kind of just tag along with you, work for free and whatnot. So I did that for a good 6 months, Taunch. Built up my experience, really learnt the ropes in that cabling world. And then pretty much after that, there was an opportunity in the early NBN days when NBN started. I pretty much started with a van. Ended up buying a really, really old VW transporter, which was only probably worth a couple grand at the time. So, and I just kind of obviously fitted it out with all the tools and bits and pieces that I needed for the work. So, yeah, basically started there, and then it kind of just went from, strength to strength where we are now. It started to turn into a bit more civil, as you're doing cabling, and you've got to repair a cable, or you have to physically, dig down and repair.
Yep.
Things started to turn a bit more civil. And then obviously you started to scale up from there, where you buy a machine, you add more staff, as obviously the work comes in, you're scaling up.
Yeah.
So that was fairly early on. And then obviously here we are now, 14, 15 years later, we're very successful at what we do. And we kind of just want to grow, strength to strength, mate. So absolutely.
Well, thanks, Anthony, for letting us know about your business and a little bit about how it started. It's quite a fascinating journey and quite a fascinating story. But let's talk about your obviously involvement with Dinamo.
Sure.
You've been a sponsor and, as you said, a past player as well. Tell us a bit about your connection with Dinamo and what it means to you and your family.
Absolutely. Look, Dinamo's always been a very passionate club. I've always had a lot of passion for Dinamo, even when I was playing there. And it's given us the opportunity now to kind of give back, and, we've always been, massive supporters of Dinamo and the Croatian community, and we want to do so moving forward. We want to make sure that, our community always stays strong, and, the club is going in the right direction. And, it's fantastic that we've got the tourney this year, which is amazing. It's amazing for the club. And hopefully that's going to be an amazing opportunity for everyone to get involved and really kind of just make it a great time for everyone. So,
what about your own experiences with the tournament in the past? Did you play at any of them?
Yeah, I did. I played in the Adelaide one, which was quite a long time ago. Don't ask me exactly when it was. It would have been early. I would imagine it would have been... Yeah, probably early 2000s.
Okay,
That was with Melbourne Knights when I was in the youth team there. So it's always been a fun time. It's been a fun time. It's plenty of drinking, as you know, Taunch, which is always a massive...
I wouldn't know. I'm a teetotaler.
So,
I do remember, yes.
They've always been fun, It's good to, for everyone to get together and, and obviously all the different clubs from around Australia to come down and support, whoever's hosting it. So I've always had a great time, on the weekends, mate. And, this one's going to be no different, if not the best.
Yeah, absolutely. Now, finally, mate, let's get back to the club, Dinamo. There's some look. It's been a tough year for the seniors, but they managed to get through and avoid relegation. But all other elements of the club are doing really, really well. And next year promises to be an exciting time, particularly in the area of the juniors as well. But just the infrastructure works, the ground, the things that are going to be happening, and obviously, I guess the tournament is going to provide a bit of a financial boost in order to be able to do some of those things. Where do you see the club, or where would you like to see the club go over the next, say, 18 to 24 months and further?
Yeah, great question. Look, I think the club has great people at it. That are working in it, and everyone's very passionate about pushing the club where it needs to go. It's great that we're getting obviously a new scoreboard. I know there's some major development plans as well behind the scenes that the club is really trying to push and trying to obviously get that done hopefully in the near future. I know obviously there's a pitch. The pitch will be redone, which is fantastic. So there's a lot of promising things, Taunch, with the club, and everyone's passionate and everyone's pushing and everyone's driving to get more and more and more. But look, I think, the main thing, as you mentioned, the main thing is that the club has stayed in the NPL, and we've avoided relegation, which is amazing. And then we just continue to kind of go strength to strength, and we really kind of, expect some better results kind of, next year for the club. Everyone's passionate and everyone wants to see the club doing really well and being up there. So, really looking forward to next season, mate, as well.
And finally, they say experience is the best teacher, and I guess, mate, in that case, you're a very good teacher. What would be your words of advice, particularly to some of the young footballers? Doesn't matter if they're from Dinamo or anyone watching Dinamo TV, who dream of one day being a professional footballer and maybe even going overseas. You've done that. You've carved that path out. What would you recommend to any of the young talented footballers out there?
Taunch, I would just say hard work. 10% talent, 90% hard work. You need to be passionate. You need to be doing a lot of things obviously outside of just training. I know that when I was growing up, I used to sleep with the ball. I used to dribble around the furniture. It's all the little things that you do outside of training and just being passionate. But nothing can replace hard work, Taunch, and you'll find that working hard will get you places.
Well, that brings us now to the end of this conversation, and must say it was this conversation that just went in a different direction. We could talk about that forever and a day, just about your footballing background as well. But thanks, Anthony, for letting us in on a little bit about what Future Tech Civil does as well. And the future is certainly bright, both for the business and for Dinamo as well. And once again, thank you so much for being on Dinamo TV.
Thank you, Taunchy. Thanks for having me. Pleasure.
Absolute
Thank you so much.
pleasure.
G'day here, Danny Yufusha here. Been part of the club forever and a day, volunteering over the last decade and a half, which has been fantastic. Been part of the committee at the moment with the tournament, and we're looking forward to a great one. But to help facilitate that, we will need a lot more volunteers like yourself. So hopefully you guys can get behind us and help us out to make this tournament a successful one for our whole community.
Hi, I'm Steve. I've been here since I was 12 years old at the club. I love supporting the club, I love helping out, volunteering, and yeah.
How you going? I'm Rob Mickledge here. I'd love to see a lot more people volunteer their time if they can to help out the kids with just helping out with Dinamo at the club, and hoping to get more people to help us out with the tourney coming up shortly.
Volunteering for the club is fantastic for the children, and our community all stays together, and we all do our part to keep it all together.
Christian Dulwich here for the big 2024 Dinamo tournament, hosted here anywhere else, but we're in St Albans. We need volunteers like you, like myself, like Milch, and a whole bunch of others. Join now and welcome to the crew.
Volunteering is lots of fun. It makes you feel as if you're a part of a community, and bringing your friends along makes it one to remember. Yeah, so come sign up and be a part of such a great weekend.
Why do I like volunteering my time at Dinamo? Because it gives back to our community, it's for our kids, and yeah, it's improvement around the place, and hopefully everyone gets to see it at the Crow tournament on Grand Final weekend this year.
G'day guys, Darren Churchill here. Volunteering is a big part of our club. We've got the Croatian tournament coming up soon, and we'd love to see you as a volunteer. Thank you.
Hi, I'm Natalie Matrevsky.
Hi, I'm Anna Miach.
And I'm Lucy Havolik, and we are your volunteers.
We'd love for you to come and sign up
For this year's soccer tournament.
Proudly hosted by Dinamo Soccer Club. So sign up and come and join the Blue Crew.
The calm before the storm. It's all quiet now, it's all empty, but in a few weeks' time, this place is going to be buzzing with the Australian Croatian Soccer Tournament. And what better place to find out all the latest that's happening ahead of the Croatian Soccer Tournament than at the Vukovar Bar with the President ILIJA DRAGICEVIC and Vice President John BILOS. Gentlemen, how are we?
Hi Touch, hi viewers.
Taking a well-deserved drinks break from the calamity that is the pre-tournament period. But ILIJA, first of all to you, mate, what's the latest? What's the updated news that's got to do with the tournament?
Well, we're well and truly underway, Taunch. Tourney's already started for us, so we're in the last. There's no more talking. It's all action now. It's all decisions go. We've got the scoreboard underway. We've poured that, erected the structure, and we await for the LED screens to be put in probably in the next week. And then we started our car park, which is a 1,000 square metre concrete slab, which is well and truly underway with all the generosity and of great members, great companies associated with our club, I&D, Steelcon, V&G, Evolution, Future Tech. There's so many great. Image Works has helped out with the scoreboard enormously. Penley Construction, who's now in charge of the car park, and that's going to, in record time, be ready for the tournament, which will then house our big Ploa Kucha tent in that location. And even better, it'll be there forever and ever at the club, left, as a memory of our tournament and our achievement to host such a big event.
John, you're going to take us on a little bit of a tour straight after this around the grounds, and we're going to see all of that work up close up. But mate, you've just come back from a holiday. I think you're going to need a holiday after this. But what's from logistics point of view and volunteers and everything else behind the scenes? How's that all going?
Yeah, so we have 250 volunteers at the moment. So I think we're actually full capacity. So we wanted 250 volunteers, and we've reached that. And now we're looking at just people to be on standby with regards to that. There's a new app for our volunteers, so that'll be coming out shortly. Where all the communication will be. So with regards to volunteers, thank you to everyone who's volunteered. Really appreciate it, and let's bring on Tawny.
I'm sure we can do with a few more volunteers as well as sponsors. Speaking of sponsors, how's that all going as well?
Sponsors looking good. I mean, we always want more sponsors, but we've got, I think, 4 platinum sponsors at the moment, which we really appreciate. And yeah, end of the day, it's all for our club and for our community, which is our goal.
Yeah, well, we've seen the interview with Anthony Muslich earlier today, earlier in the show, I should say. But just off the top of your head, can you remember the other sponsors?
Yeah, so we've got Penley Constructions, who just jumped on board as well. We've got Boozum, who's jumped on board.
Evolution Electrical.
Evolution Electrical, obviously a major sponsor, not only for our tourney but for our club during the season, which is fantastic.
Yeah, we talk about people, sponsors, volunteers, ILIJA, and obviously now the teams as well. There's a heap of players getting ready for it. There's going to, as we said, the calm before the storm. This place is going to be buzzing in a few weeks' time.
We're very, very excited for what's coming up in 2 weeks' time. It's been an amazing ride the last 12 months, getting the tournament and then planning for the tournament. And it hasn't all been smooth sailing. We've had some hurdles to overcome, and we've overcome them because we've got great people, leading the way. And big shout out to our tourney committee led by Marko Butarac. Amazing job, amazing group of people, and really took the pressure off us as a committee of the club. And they've really taken that on board and driven this whole process, dealing with Victoria Police, dealing with council, dealing with traffic management, dealing with all the hurdles that come with a major event and a big event of this size. And then you guys might have looked and seen our launch of the merch. Fantastic.
Yeah, let's talk about the merch. Yeah,
job on the merch. And that's been launched Sunday night, I think, or Monday night, and we had an awesome response in pre-sales, and that's the intention, to get these sales and then pick it up at the tourney. So if you haven't already purchased, purchasing is really important, and it's a big way for us to know what kind of numbers we need, because if we get a lot of this sold early, we will be making more and be ready for everyone at the tournament. So if you haven't yet, get on board, get your merch, and if we need to, we will stock up and get more stuff ready for the tournament.
Yeah, and John, that's one of those important things we talk about. We talk about the sponsorship, we talk about the ticket sales and food sales on the day, but the merchandise is so important, because that provides another avenue, a very important avenue of revenue. But also, I guess it's a souvenir, especially for people coming in from interstate. It's such a major part. It's something that they'll look back on and remember, won't they?
Spot on. I mean, look at previous tourneys. I'm sure everyone's got a t-shirt or a hoodie or a cap or something along those lines in the cupboard, and you always, look at it and brings back some memories. So, like Ilya said, get on board, order your merch early, just to make sure that no one misses out. You don't want to sell out of items. You want to have plenty of stock for everyone.
Yeah. Now, we talked about the legacy that obviously this tournament's going to leave with the infrastructure and some of the stuff, the car parking, the scoreboard, obviously the ground improvements and things like that. But Ilya, the tournament itself, how important is the success of it to the club? Not necessarily in the financial side of things, but more so just the community side of things, and introducing a whole new generation of people to Dinamo, the club, whether it's interstate, whether it's intrastate.
Well, I think that's really important, Torture, because people all over Australia are going to come to our club, and this is an opportunity for us to showcase our club and show the capacity that our club has. We really set out many years ago, probably 5, 6, 7 years ago, when this committee grew, to really contribute to the Croatian community in Melbourne. And I think we've done that over the last 7, 8 years really well. But now it's become more than that. It's about contributing and representing the Croatian community of Australia. And this is our chance to do that and show that we are a club with really good support, really good people at our club, and our passion to grow this club within all the juniors that are here now. The tournament's going to go a long way in planting the seeds into these little kids and keeping our culture going over the next 20 years, 30 years.
Yeah. Exciting times ahead, gents. Thank you so much for your time here on DinamoTV. And I guess any last words that you'd like to either give to viewers of DinamoTV or anyone that's going to be coming to the Croatian tournament?
Just
maybe
quickly,
John?
Like Ilya said, our tourney committee, we can't thank them enough. Having a Toronto club and the tourney is difficult. So like Ilya said, can't thank them enough. So thank you to the committee. And can't wait to see the tourney here at Dinamo.
Ilya, the president, last word.
I'm saying hi to everyone all over Australia. The Croatian tournament is a special event for all of us, whether you're young, middle-aged or old. It's a time for celebration and to really remember where we come from and what we are. So see you at Dinamo in a couple of weeks.
Well, the bar's stocked up with the alcoholic stuff for the adults and the juices for the kids and the people like myself who don't drink. But either way, there's going to be something for everyone. So, gents, thank you so much. And we look forward to seeing you guys and everyone else at the upcoming Australian Croatian Soccer Tournament.
Cheers. See you guys.
This is our first stop with our little tour around Dinamo with regards to all the work that's been happening in preparation for the tourney. So,
as the retaining walls have been built, that was done last week, so Friday, Saturday, Sunday. Now they're levelling out the surface to put some concrete down on Monday. So this will be where the marquee will be, our Plava Kuća, and then that'll stay as a car park for next year.
So really, as they say in Croatian, uredno afterwards, everything's going to be nice, neat and tidy, and then between the main pitch over here and then the pitch 3 over there, this is going to be all nice leveled like a car park, concrete like for a car park, so there'll be none of that muddiness that we've had in the past, I suppose. So they're already working away there. Well done.
It's a little project, our scoreboard, something that's been coming for a long time. we're hoping on Wednesday that'll be up and ready to go for tourney. Ground's looking good. Still got a couple of weeks for tourney, and hopefully it'll be a lot better come game one. With the scoreboard, raised about $40,000 towards that. And we need to thank ImageWorks and Rob Hunnella for helping us out in that space.
Westar Prestige is a family-owned second-generation business which is celebrating 50 years of operations this year. They're a specialist prestige collision repair facility situated in the western suburbs of Melbourne, Victoria. However, they service all regions in the state, with many of their clients travelling from far and wide to use their services. They're also able to provide a digital platform for quoting clients' vehicles who are unable to personally attend their premises. They're an authorised manufacturer-approved repair facilities for Mercedes-Benz, Tesla, Peugeot and Suzuki, and are proud of their ongoing affiliation with these brands. They also work closely with a number of Australia's largest insurance brands who entrust them to be part of their preferred repairer network. Their support staff are always happy to assist clients from the initial process of lodging claims through to the final stages of collection of the vehicle on completion of repairs and post-repair. So remember, for all your prestige collision repair needs, consider Westar Prestige, an award-winning, long-standing Australian-owned business.
And that, folks, wraps up yet another episode of DinamoTV. We certainly hope you enjoyed tonight's show, and some great insights, particularly that the last segment there with John BILOS around Churchill Reserve. Really gets you excited with some of those infrastructure improvements around the ground. It's going to be an absolute fantastic weekend of football, of social opportunities, of Croatian culture as well, and that's in a little over 2 weeks, 3 weeks time. Yep, it should be 2 weeks time, in fact. And so next week's show will be our last show before the tournament. And then it'll be the tournament. So a lot of exciting times ahead at Churchill Reserve. Folks, until next Thursday night, it's been an absolute pleasure and good night. Bye-bye.